Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and the Pennsylvania State Supreme Court has just issued a massive decision with the ballot counting that's still going on in the state for the last Senate seat available. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. And if you're not watching us on YouTube, please visit that address in the lower right-hand corner. It's youtube.com/@explainamerica. And when you get there, please hit subscribe, absolutely free. It really helps us out. Guys, you saw what happened. The Pennsylvania blue counties, a lot of them, have defied a court order to not count undated and misdated ballots. They are saying they are going to count them anyway, even after the court told them to stop. But now the Pennsylvania State Supreme Court has stepped in and said, no, you must stop counting those ballots immediately. Moreover, Chris LaCivita, who is the head or was the head of the Trump 2024 campaign, he has promised that the people who have openly defied the law and continue to defy the law are going to jail. They are trying to, I can't use the S word, but they're trying to finagle a Senate seat here for the Democrats after the Associated Press and others have already called the seat for McCormick. They're trying to give it back to the Democrat Casey. You're watching this right before your eyes in front of the world. They have no shame. They're not even trying to hide it. In fact, they're bragging about it. But the Supreme Court has now stepped in, given their ruling, and now let's see if A, they're going to follow it, B, there's going to be consequences for those actions. Guys, I want you to watch this video on it and let me know what you think in the comments.
All right, you know about the recount going on in that tight Pennsylvania Senate race. A sudden development in the middle of that, just as it's kicking off, where the Pennsylvania Supreme Court has just ruled that you cannot count undated or misdated ballots. It's a little involved, but the end result could potentially keep things as they are. Alexis McAdams has more. Alexis.
Hey, Neil. Well, as you just said, they ruled that, but this is the second time, the Supreme Court there in Pennsylvania made this decision. But the recount does continue as the Supreme Court ruled again. They cannot count these ballots right now that are illegal. So I don't know why they were trying to count them anyway. They didn't have the dates. They didn't have the signatures. So the whole thing was going a little bit wrong there. As Democrats, though, on some election boards said they were openly breaking the law because they said the law has been broken in the past with other things. So they were counting ballots that were missing signatures and dates to try and put a spotlight on this, they said, to overturn the election results. The decision comes more than a week after the Associated Press called the Senate race. That's when Republican Senator-elect Dave McCormick, UC, beat out incumbent Democrat Senator Bob Casey. It was by more than 17,000 votes, in the first count, so it wasn't that close for this recount. So the McCormick team says they're very confident. They're not worried about it. They say they have a big enough lead that these, quote, shenanigans ultimately aren't going to matter. But some Republicans have said this is just accusing Democrats of, hypocrisy here. Tom Cotton was on Fox News earlier, Neil, and said Democrats were doing what they accused Donald Trump of doing here, defying a court order. So right now, though, the main thing is the recount continues. Calls for Casey to concede just keep getting louder here. We know Republican Senator Mike Lee has been threatening to not seat him, saying that he will not be in the Senate no matter what happens if he refuses to kind of go here with the results. Also, Senate Majority Leader-elect John Thune of South Dakota had called this a blatant attempt by the Dems to violate the rule of law and undermine the electoral process. So back out here in the newsroom, we can tell you this is just all developing, but that Supreme Court ruling not once but now twice that you cannot count illegal ballots. Something earlier, Neil, that we were looking through was that the Democrats actually said that they were trying to protect people's Second Amendment rights because they said, hey, just because they filled it out wrong doesn't mean it can't count. But that's exactly what the Supreme Court says cannot happen, Neil.
Twice, in fact, to your point.
That's right.
Thank you, Alexis McAdams. Want to go to Hans.